So this is a quick tutorial on how to get the wheelchair out of and back in to a wheelchair accessible vehicle. This one is a Ford Galaxy. They're all much of a muchness though, from my experience. They just differ in the way the controls work, whether they're electrical or not, whether there's a winch installed. This one doesn't have a winch, relies on the power of the wheelchair to get it into the vehicle and out of the vehicle. But just bear that in mind. So first thing is to release the ramp. This particular Ford, there's a button, red button here, which electrically disengages the latch. There is, if the batteries fail or whatever, there is actually a manual release. So if you just pull that strap, it releases the ramp latch. Once that's down, the next thing is to release the straps on the back of the wheelchair. They're quite slack at the moment. They should really be done up a bit tighter than that. In this case, they're just carabiners. If you need to release the tension, these yellow buttons here just disengage the ratchet mechanism in the reel. And again, similar to a lot of other ones, these straps have a little dot here, and there's a dimple on the car. So you line those up, and this will just push off. So it's got a sort of clip arrangement that's got a little ramp, and it slides under there and locks in place. Same with this one, the dimple and the pip, line them up, just push that off. So that's back released. So the next thing are the straps on the front. To do that, I'd turn the wheelchair on for a start. Well, the straps at the front are electrically controlled. They're kind of normal seatbelt type reels, but they can be the ratchet can be deactivated, released electrically. So to do that, there's this switch here. So turn that on. You get an audible squeak in this car, just to warn you that it's disengaged. To actually disengage the reels, you need to go forward first, just to disengage the pulls in the ratchet. So just an inch or less forward and then reverse, and it should. Actually, that's a good point. In that case, it hasn't released. The left-hand side hasn't released, so it's dragging on the left-hand side. So I need to go forward again, and then back, and this time the reel is released. So here's the straps and the reels at the far side. I can turn off the squeaker now and stop that annoying noise. So again, in this case, we've got sailing yacht type quick release shackles fit to the belts. Just makes life a bit easier and quicker. There's the quick release shackle again. In this vehicle, there's a hook here, which you can just hook the belt to, rather than letting it run all the way back to the reel. If it's all the way back of the reel, obviously you have to climb in and pull them out when it comes to getting the wheelchair back in the car. So obviously at this point, you can just power off the ramp and you're good to go. Getting the wheelchair back on the ramp, of course, is pretty much just the reverse as you'd expect. So electrically release the ramp with the red button, drop it down, just power the wheelchair onto the ramp and halfway up. Sometimes with this particular wheelchair, with the arrangements of the wheels, if the ramp is too steep, the middle wheel will spin. If you come on slowly, it'll lose traction and spin with this motorized wheel just on the edge of the ramp. In that case, I think you just have to either move the car, but normally just with a bit of momentum, if you come up at the ramp at a reasonable speed, it will bridge the gap and carry on up. So it shouldn't be a big problem. So turn on the release switch for the forward reels, which means these will now pull back, reattach the quick release shackles, both sides of course. Can now turn off the switch and stop that annoying noise. Wheelchair still turned on, so I can just power it into the car. Don't want to go hard up to the front because you need that little bit of room at the front to go forwards when you're trying to get the wheelchair out, just to go forwards a fraction to release the reels. Once you're far enough in, you can reattach the back straps. I've actually labelled these, so one's got right written on it for the right hand side, pip on the front, dimple on the car, just move that out of the way, it sticks on. The reason that's labelled right is that this shackle then fits comfortably onto that anchor point, otherwise it's back to front. But again, the yellow catch just releases the reel, so you've got room to attach it, and it should be reasonably taut once you've attached it. Same on the other side. Pips line up, move the wheel out of the way, attach. If it won't reach, use the yellow button, connect, and just tighten. And that should be it. Just lift up the ramp and make sure that it's latched properly. Give it a push, and that's all good.